Hi! In this lesson I'm going to talk about law of definite proportion. Okay, so the law of definite proportion, what does it talk about? Well, it was discovered by Proust, Joseph Proust, and talks about that if we have a chemical compound, to form that chemical compound, we should always have that number of that element and that number of that element to form that compound. Let's get an example. If I want to form carbon dioxide, the law of definite proportion says that I should always have the proportion of one carbon atom and two oxygen atom. So that's the proportion, or that's the ratio of forming carbon dioxide. What about another example? I want to have carbon monoxide. We're going to have the ratio of one carbon atom and one oxygen atom. So that claims a different proportion. So you cannot change that. So if I tell you I want that element, I want carbon dioxide, what is the proportion of carbon and what is the proportion of oxygen? You're going to tell me the proportion of carbon is going to be 1, because we need only one carbon atom, and the proportion of oxygen is going to be 2, because we're going to need two oxygen atoms. So that's for the law of definite proportion. Another example can come as this. If I give you grams of grams of oxygen, how many grams of carbon do I need to form carbon dioxide? So if I give you 2.66 grams of oxygen, how many grams of carbon should I combine with to get carbon dioxide? You're going to tell me 1, because this is the ratio that we need. What about carbon monoxide? If I tell you that here I have carbon monoxide, I have 1 gram of oxygen, one gram, carbon of carbon. How many grams of oxygen will I need just to get CO? You're right, you're going to tell me 1.33 grams of oxygen. So that's the ratio. That's the ratio that usually you can memorize. It's much easier to memorize. That always, if you want to form carbon dioxide, you should always have 2.66 grams of oxygen combining with 1 gram of carbon. So that's all about our lesson for today, and I hope it is useful. Always remember, law of definite proportion says that to form one particular compound or chemical, the proportion of reactants should be always definite. It will be always the same. Always, if you want to form carbon dioxide, 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. So that's all about our lesson for today, and I hope it is useful.